The difference between property and personhood is basically this. If you're property, you don't have any legal rights at all. You're essentially invisible to the civil law system. If you're a person, you have at least one legal right that the legal system recognizes in some way. Sometimes people think that when I talk about getting basic legal rights for non-human animals, I'm talking about giving non-human animals human rights. But I'm really not. I'm just talking about giving basic rights to them the way we've given basic rights to humans. It just so happens that we talk about human rights as being equivalent to basic rights, but that's because people really haven't thought about giving non-humans rights. Once they do, you realize that they're just kind of basic rights or they're fundamental rights, but they don't have anything to do with being human. In fact, the entire argument I make is that fundamental rights, by definition, don't have anything to do with species at all, whether it's human or any other species. You can have a negative right to be free from something, and by the way, the most fundamental rights are negative liberty rights or negative immunity rights, which are even more powerful. The idea that there's a certain kind of a negative liberty right you have, and other people are disabled, legally disabled from being able to violate it, which is really what I was talking about before, about having a legal suit of armor that protects you against other people trying to exploit you. Well, these are rights, but there's no reason why they should be limited to human beings. And in fact, they aren't now. Corporations have rights, ships have rights, sometimes partnerships have rights. In Rattling the Cage, I talked about Hindu idols who had rights. So a right is a certain sort of thing. Fundamental immunity rights, really the right to be left alone, is something that sentient beings would be very, very desirous of. But you don't have to be a human being. You can be a dog or a chimpanzee or a child or a fetus. And negative liberty rights or immunity rights would then protect you from being exploited.